Spring School District 11. I am Barry Reed along with my crew. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Gary Berry Stadium for another edition of Friday Night Football. Tonight, we open league play in the 4A Southern League between the 3-2 Mesa Ridge Grizzlies and the 1-4 Palmer Terrors, who could very easily be 2-3 after last week, where they lost in the late stages of the fourth quarter, going toe-to-toe with Air Academy, losing 30-28 of all things special teams. Bad snap created a safety. 2 points was the margin of victory for the Cadets up at Cadet Stadium on the north end of town. But talking with a couple of the Palmer coaches, the kids got a wake-up call out of last week's game. They played great for a first half the week before against Coronado, and then the wheels kind of came off. Last week, they led after the first quarter. They were trailing by a touchdown at half. They came out, and in the third quarter, they tied it up, played even until the safety in the fourth quarter. So there's a new sense of optimism, and hey, we got this thing going for the Palmer Terrors.
And any Palmer fan will tell you, it's good to see them back in a competitive mode. And that the games we saw them play earlier, they were competitive, and last week they were competitive. Pretty good Mesa Ridge team that rolled in here tonight. So we'll see how they stack up. Full moon, partner, and let's get it on.
J.J. Dickerson has it on the tee for Mesa Ridge. He is waiting the official's whistle, and there it is. Kendrick back deep for the Terrors. This kick is going to go into the back of the end zone. Good leg on Dickinson. And it will be a touchback. Start at the 20 will the Terrors.
Best team on the field tonight, partner. Your referee is Mark Bradley. The umpire is Kyle Foley. Your head linesman is Kevin Kazusti. Your line judge, Nate McCrary. And the back judge is Gordy Strike.
And here I thought, looking at the stat sheet, that Palmer had created a tackle-eligible play because Melvin Saffold III had 3 catches as Moreno is back, tucks it up, mouthpiece flies out, it gets to the 28, Moreno gets to the 26, but actually it was Melvin's brother, Melvin Jr., not Melvin III, who got the catches. So a little bit of fun during the prep this week. Pickup of 4, 2nd and 6 for the Terrors. Carlos Moreno, the junior quarterback, over 200 yards a game. He's got 3 games over 250 in the passing game. One of the top passers in the area. And this is Javion Kendrick with the carry, and Mesa Ridge, the middle of that defensive line, going to hold that to a gain of 1, bring up 3rd and 5. That defensive front for Mesa Ridge, David Garcia, 6'2", 160, a senior. Watson, the 6'2", 265-pound junior. Seth Martinez, 5'9", 190, a senior. Thane Humison, 5'9", 190, a sophomore. Each of them has a sack. David Garcia's got 6 on the season through the first 5 games. 3rd and a short 5 here. Motion trips right now for the Terrors, and there is that snap over the head. Moreno's just got to get back on it. He will be covered by David Garcia. Add another sack for Garcia. And Palmer will punt on the first possession of the game. Not something you want to see. It is chilly down there. The ball's going to be a little tough to hang on to. Now Dylan Campos will stand at the Palmer 45 awaiting this kick.
It may be chilly out there tonight, Part, but not near as bad as it was last night. We got a flag. Timeout.
Timeout called. Mesa Ridge takes number 1 under head coach Rob Bratton. 3-2 on the early part of the season. The wins have come against Canyon City in the opener, and they lost to Vista Peak Prep, who is still undefeated, and Pueblo West, who is 4-1. And then back-to-back weeks they have beaten rather handily Coronado, and Widefield. Last week in that Widefield game, partner, 4 fumbles, 2 pick sixes.
Yeah, I actually was at that game for at least the first half of it anyway, I should say. They were very impressive in that first half. They had a pretty good game that night.
12 of the 40 points coming on the defensive end, and they had some short fields. Didn't tally a whole lot of yardage in that game, but with the short fields, you never have to.
There you go. That's the key.
So now we're back ready to play. Low snap, and the kick gets away. Low kick is going to take a bounce, be fielded at the 45. Campos breaking a tackle, but getting spun down. That is David Simons with the tackle at the 42-yard line of the Terrors. So a good job picking up that low snap and getting it out of there. But the Grizzlies will start in great field position.
And the one thing you don't want to give an offense is their possession in your territory. Well, we have a flag here, partner.
Number 4, 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
Mark Bradley will let us know that the Grizzlies were doing a little holding out there. Take that ball back about 10 yards. So now they will start in their own territory.
Last year, these two teams played the first time in history that they have faced off, and Mesa Ridge an impressive 68-6 victory. Palmer scored in the second quarter, but it was all Mesa Ridge. They were up 20-0 after 1 and 48-6 at the half.
That was down there at C.A. Foster Stadium last year.
So they start at their own 42. Shifting going on. Kyle Castor is the quarterback, trips to the left, quick pass out here in the flat to Dylan Campos. And Campos is going to be, they're going to call that incomplete.
Yeah, he dropped that thing. Came in like a hot potato.
Set up the receiver screen behind Andres Esquivel, but incomplete, 2nd and 10. Castor back, quick release on a give and go, and this is going to be 6. Esquivel with his 3rd touchdown of the year. It's going to cover 58 yards. Looking, I don't see any flags, and that was just a broken coverage, partner, because he was streaking down the left sideline all by himself.
Well, I don't know if it was actually a broken coverage as much as the defender just didn't play it well. If we got a replay, I'll show you what I'm talking about. He simply took a bad angle on it, went for the fake, and after he did both those things, it was just bad. It was just pitch and catch after that, and you have to make sure you get the ball to him.
J.J. Dickerson on to attempt the extra point. Kyle Gaster with the hold. Kick is up and true. And now we have got a late flag coming in from the far sideline. We will sort this penalty out as the officials are going to talk to Rob Bratton on that far sideline.
And I think that's going to be on the Grizzlies. But let's look at the replay here, partner. Now, when he throws this football, the defender has already went for the fake, and as you can see, the safety rolling over did not get there nearly in time. The ball just flew over his outreached hand, and then once you let a receiver get momentum going toward that end zone, good luck in catching him. I don't care who it is, whether that receiver's fast or slow.
There you see the Grizzlies cheerleaders on the far side.
They bought their posters to let people know who they are. Way to go there, young ladies.
So 9:37 of the first. Mesa Ridge shakes off the penalty and strikes from 58 yards out. And now the penalty must have gone against the Terrors because they were walking it up. And they will set at the 50 for the kick. And now they'll back them up to the 45. Dickinson had the touchback on his first kick, so you give him an extra 10 yards.
Yeah, you got to kind of think this was going to be the same way.
Unless they change strategy with the advance and try something different.
And no wind tonight either, partner. The flag is stiff on the pole out
High
there.
kick is going to end up almost the identical spot in the back of the end zone that the first one did. And Palmer will try again from the 20-yard line, this time trailing by 7. Couple positive plays to start that drive. Then the bad snap put him in long distance and forced the punt. See what the offense does here. Moreno will send 3 to the right.
And we got a whistle. Oh, they didn't set the chains in the right place. Chains were about 10 yards away from where they're supposed to be. Great catch by the officials, of course.
Aerosmith split wide to the right. Bounce Kendrick to the left. Breaks one tackle, spins, come back across field, puts the ball on the ground, has to get on it. Great effort, but ill-advised. He was a good 5 yards upfield, and the play ends up losing 4. And almost costly with the turnover for the Terrors.
Yeah, you don't mind the hustle, partner, but watch this now. He gets outside here, and here's the first missed tackle. Just could not get him down. He spun out of that. Now, your instincts tell you that if you go back across the field that you might be able to do some business over there, but Cedrell Watson, number 73, had other thoughts and just punched that ball out of there.
Cash Cheeks was the man unable to bring him down, but he slowed him down enough. This play goes to the left once again, and Mesa Ridge on Johnny on the spot, back to the 15. We'll bring up 3rd and 15 for the Terrors. So far, the offense not clicking. Some movement in the offensive line. Jarek Hodge has moved to guard. Quintrell Thomas is getting the start at the left guard. And Nehemiah Gray at the left tackle. So far having a little trouble meshing, and now we've got a timeout taken by the Terrors, it looks like. 8:06 to go in the first quarter. And Mesa Ridge on top 7-0 here. Friday night football on the District 11 channel and Facebook and YouTube. And if you're watching us on the Facebook or the YouTube channels, remember to like and subscribe us. And if you're watching on the cable channels, we hope you enjoy. Here you see Rob Bratton, the longtime coach for the Grizzlies.
We got the Palmer band right underneath us tonight, partner. That should be fun.
We were remiss in mentioning that it is homecoming for the Palmer Terrors.
Yes.
So I shot my father, who is a Colorado Springs High School alum, along with my mother, classes of 53 and 55 respectively, to tune in the game tonight.
All right.
Moreno back in the shotgun, flanked by 2. Send 1 in motion. Now throw it down the seam, and that ball's going to skip in, incomplete. Intended receiver was Simons. Out across the 30. Would have been enough for a first down, but unable to plant and stop and set with the pressure. That ball skips in about 3 yards low or short.
And he had him open, too. It wasn't one of those situations where he was thrown into coverage or anything. He just didn't have a chance to set his feet, like you said, partner, and could not get that ball out there. So punt time now for the Terrors.
Campos will settle in at the Palmer 47. Left hash is the spot. Another low kick. Pressure coming in. Another Palmer bounce. Skipped up. Campos takes it in his own field at the 48. Brings it back across. See where they're going to spot him. They're going to spot him back at his own 48. Which is kind of curious. I thought he'd gotten a couple yards ahead, but they said he stepped out.
He must have put one of those little toes on that line when he was gathering in the ball. Break for the Terrors, actually.
So after starting the first drive on their own 42, they start this one on the 48. I formation for Castor. Henderson and Campbell behind him. Receiver left, receiver right, tight end to the right. Give off straight up the middle. Busting his way through. This is Arthur Campbell. Flag on the play. Campbell brought down inside the 30 at the 28, but we will check on the flag. Arthur Campbell came into the game 23 carries for 115 yards.
Yeah, this one, it won't go back to the original line of scrimmage, I don't think, because the holding, if it's holding, occurred downfield. Let's watch the run here. Bouncing off a few tackles there.
By Saffold Jr. and Kamara.
Yeah, he's finally get that. That's where they threw the flag in that pile there. I was trying to see if I saw something. Here's Mark Bradley.
Holding, offense number 2. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. The yardage results in a first down.
Yeah, it's a spot foul, so, well, wait a minute now.
Esquivel downfield blocking for the fullback.
Okay, so he got the first down and then went back, and so he still got the first down. So, okay.
It ends up a gain of 10 after the penalty. Ball will spot on the Palmer 42. First down for the Grizzlies. Now pro set. Offset eye now after the rotation. No movement by the Palmer defense. Back is Gaster in trouble. Splits out, runs to the right, and plenty of room to run. Another first down. And he will be bumped out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. They'll spot him at the 19-yard line. So a gain of 23 on the scramble by Kyle Gaster. And that puts him back into the positive yardage on the season. Of course, sacks count against the running stats for the quarterback.
That's right. That counts against your rushing yardage there. So
there you see the nice tuck up underneath.
Yeah, he knew he was in trouble right away, and good thing that was open on the right side, but he could see that without having to break his momentum.
So 1st and 10 from the 19. Gaster will hand it off. Short gain on the play.
Got Henderson out there?
Call it a gain of 1. Looked like it was Arthur Campbell again. Gain of 1, bring up 2nd and 9. And one thing I'm seeing out of Mesa Ridge early, partner, is the receivers are blocking downfield.
Yeah, that's part of their offense. I get a chance to watch them practice a little bit during the week. That's a big part of their offense. Those receivers have to block.
Stack the line to the right. Offset backfield. Give it off to Campbell coming this, or Henderson coming this way. Check that with the carry into the backfield now is Elijah Ross. Ross, one of their productive backs, 4 touchdowns on the ground, 47 carries coming in for 282 yards. That's their leading rusher, but he did not get the start tonight. But that's him deep in the eye. Campbell moves up to the fullback. Now this is Hudson in for the touchdown. Hudson was the deep back. So Rob Bratton is rotating his running backs. And with 6:29 to go in the first quarter, Hudson in for his first touchdown of the year. Came into the game 9 rushes for 31 yards. And that one goes 18 for the touchdown.
Yeah, and he got right through the line there, and then there was absolutely no one that laid a glove on him as he goes towards the end zone.
Not until he got inside the 5. So Mesa Ridge making quick work of this Palmer defense. Kick is up and
no good.
No good.
Bad snap.
13-0 now in favor of Mesa Ridge.
Not a good sign if you're Palmer right now, partner, because you don't want your offense playing from behind all night, and now they're down 2 touchdowns here. So this offensive series is going to be pretty crucial for the Terrors, even though it's this early in the game. Still looks a crucial series for them to show these Grizzlies that they can do something on offense.
And all that momentum that you picked up last week, Air Academy's 4-1, folks, and Palmer took them to the wire. Mesa Ridge 3-2 on the year. So another test. Now we'll see how the Terrors respond here. It'll be just their 3rd possession. But the first 2 have started at the 20, thanks to touchbacks. Palmer yet to get a first down.
Well, this kid got an impressive leg.
About 8 yards deep into the end zone. And Palmer will start once again at the 20.
I'm a big believer in the kicking game and the special teams being just as important as your offense and defense when you're talking about winning football games. And with a leg like that, he's going to keep these Grizzlies in a lot of games because he makes that offense start at the 20-yard line.
Trips to the right now for Palmer. Gives straight up the middle and losing yardage. Elijah Davis, the middle linebacker, leading the charge. 41 tackles on the year, 2nd leading tackler for Mesa. And he snuffed that one out and put a quick stop to it.
Last 3 running plays have been the negative yards for Palmer, partner, so that offensive line's got to get a little mean.
Trips to the right. Nice job of blocking, and here goes Kendrick. Foot race. And finally able to knock him out of bounds is Cash Cheeks. Hanging on for dear life was Jalen Holmes. Pick up of 35 on the play. And here is the replay.
Lost a block. They could have got a block in the back on number 8 there, but he apparently was a good block. Once he got around that corner, though, he showed a flash of that speed that we have been told that he has. First down, Terrors, moving the ball.
2 receivers left, actually 3 receivers left. Throwing to a wide open man, complete. We have got a flag on the near side. Evan Aerosmith got tied up with Charles Davis away from the play.
Well, this is going to be interesting because I think they may call offensive pass interference on this. Let's see what we got here. As we watch the replay of this, you're going to watch the catch, folks. You're not going to see what the penalty was all about.
Number 4, Jesse Sides.
Penalty is to the right bottom corner of the screen.
You missed that, but look wide. I mean wide open. And sometimes as a receiver, you get out there and you start thinking everything. I got to catch this ball. Don't trip. You got a whole bunch of stuff running through your mind.
And now the call from the field.
After the play was over, personal foul, offense number 7, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, first down.
So a dead ball foul. The catch by Jesse Seiss will count down at the 16-yard line, and then will back him up to the 31. And again, that is away from the play. Smith comes out against Davis to the right again. Bunch 3 receivers to the left, the short side of the formation. And trying to spring Kendrick right up the middle. He'll get about a half yard. It'll be 2nd and 10. Good play to load that left side up and then try to cut a little backdoor off that left tackle, partner.
Yeah, but I think the Mesa defense has that one scouted out pretty good because they were able to stop that.
David Thomas on that same side end snuffed that out. Same formation, 3 receivers bunched up on the short side. Out into the flat and great open field tackle. That is Silas Valdez, the linebacker, 5'8", 170 and a senior. 21 tackles on the year. And a big loss for the Terrors all the way back out to the 41. So it'll be a loss of 10 on the play.
Yeah, that play didn't have a chance, partner, because Mesa Ridge was able to get too much penetration. You want to let them have some penetration, throw the screen pass, but they got to feel this a little too quick.
3rd and 21, ball at the 41. Pressure coming in on Moreno. Moreno picked up 1 block, could not pick up the second, and he will go down. DeJohn Hudson, 5'8" junior, with the sack. First sack for Hudson on the year. That defensive line in control, and Palmer is going to have to punt. They got it all the way down to the 16, and then the penalty really killed them. It took their momentum and backed them up. 3 straight plays going backwards. Punting unit comes on for the Terrors at midfield.
Yeah, it started out real promising, that offensive series, and then it just kind of went in the reverse, and we got a delay of game.
Campos was waiting at his 15.
Delay of game. Offense number 28. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
And partner, I failed to mention that Chris Morris is our 40-second and 25-second clock keeper tonight. He's also part of that outstanding crew that's out there tonight. So Chris, I did get you in there. Ooh, almost.
Better snap this time, high kick. And it takes a bit of a Palmer roll. Campos backs off. It's snapped up by Simons at the 22-yard line. And that is where Mesa Ridge will start. Well, if Palmer did nothing else on that, partner, they flipped the field and backed Mesa Ridge up just a little bit.
Ball was down by number 11 for the Terrors, David Simons. First.
And that's important too,
Grizzlies.
because you don't want to keep giving a team a short field. You want to make them earn it each day, each series, I should say.
Ross deep in the eye, receiver left, receiver right, tight end to the left. Straight up the middle, and that is Campbell. The fullback bowls ahead for a gain of about 4 out to the 27-yard line.
Play by Woods.
Boy, it fooled me on that one. I thought he made a play fake on that and was going to throw. I'm watching the receivers going downfield. What a nice view of the ballpark here.
Ross and Campbell shifting to the offset eye now. Delayed handoff. This is Ross. Gets out across the 35 before he's brought down. Aerosmith and Clark on that side of the field for the Terrors. But first down for Mesa Ridge. And they continue to march on here.
Mm-hmm. Well, neither the defensive line of Palmer or the offensive line of Palmer has established itself quite yet in this game.
First man through is Campbell, and he will be gathered up quickly by Cody Woods. the defensive tackle, holding that to gain of just 2. Palmer in the brown on brown with the white piping and the white helmets. Mesa Ridge in their purple pants, purple helmets, and white travel jerseys. This is Ross straight up the middle, and he'll be out across the 45. Pickup of 5 on the play is going to bring up a manageable 3rd and 2.
Big 3rd down here for the Terrorists. Let's see if they can get a stop as we close in on 1 minute left in the quarter.
Pro set backfield, now shift into the offset eye. Tight end to the right, receiver left and right. Hand off to the first man through. Campbell sidesteps the tackle, rumbles all the way down to the 32-yard line. And that is a gain of 23 on the play. And another first down for Mesa Ridge. They keep churning. This running game is killing Palmer. Last year, Palmer gave up 233 yards on the ground to the Grizzlies. That's going to be a similar number tonight.
I'm going to say the Grizzlies are well on their way to matching that, if not exceeding it.
You'll need a calculator at halftime to all those positive totals. 2 receivers to the left, man in the slot. Fake it to Ross, drop back his caster. He's throwing deep downfield for Esquivel, and it will fall incomplete. Good coverage back there for the Terrors on that one. Again, the first touchdown, 58 yards, was a blown coverage. The corner bit and was up on the line, and the safety could not range over enough to stop that pass. 2nd and 10 here now for the Grizzlies.
Oh, make a statement after this play, partner. See if this Grizzly offense bails me out from the statement I'm getting ready to make.
10 seconds left to go in the first quarter. And we've got flags on the play as Campos was coming in motion. And timeout taken.
Timeout Mesa Ridge. Second
timeout for Mesa Ridge here in the quarter. Leading by 13. Play underway. It's interesting that Rob Bratton would take that timeout at that point.
Well, and I think it goes back to that first down call. Let me see if you agree with me on this. When you have a situation where something is working, such as the running game is working right now for the Grizzlies, why would you throw a deep pass and break the momentum that you have with the running game that you're establishing?
Well, you catch them sleeping or you catch them playing the run. You draw them up with the running game and then go over the top for the quick score.
I'm thinking more of a slant or something down and out or down and in. I'm thinking something shorter than that, though, before you try to go to that end zone, especially where they are right now, the 32-yard line. This isn't like the call. I just didn't like it.
2nd and 10 for Mesa Ridge. This will be the last play of the quarter, barring a defensive penalty with 9.4 seconds left.
And I think the referee is trying to get the timekeeper's attention. We got something going on here. Let's see.
Campos and Esquivel are to the left.
Okay, here we go.
They bump it to 10.8 on the clock. And give it on a little flanker reverse to Campbell. And he's ahead for the first down and much more inside the 20 down to the 17. That's a pickup of 15 and another first down. So no answers coming from this Palmer defense.
See, that was the point I was making about that nickel let the clock run out and go to the second quarter. That was the point I was trying to make about that pass. You got a running game that's pick it up 5, 23, 15 yards on this drive.
Chunk plays.
Yeah. yet you want to throw the football. Sometimes you outthink yourself. You want to do that balance thing where they say you got to balance the pass and the run. Well, yeah, that's all well and good. But if you find something that's working, at least that was my philosophy coaching. If it's working, you got to show me you can stop it before I stop doing it. That was just my philosophy.
We will flip ends of the field on a chilly but windless night here at Garry Berry Stadium. And, of course, our doubleheader last week between the Cougars and the Warriors and the Huskies and the Spartans. Wind was definitely effective on that. And Gaborik Decker, the kicker for the Spartans, I was contacted by his father, wondering why we were hoping that Gabby would miss the extra point after Doherty's first touchdown. It's like, no, listen to it again. We are curious about the wind.
Yeah.
Because for those who tuned in to see that, Douglas County scored to the north, and the wind was from the east, and the flags were just straight west. It was a break, and they missed that first kick. And then Doherty, scoring their first touchdown, was able to take the lead by making that field goal with that wind still howling. Into the eye, Ross, the deep man, receiver left and right. Gaster hands it off to the left, a big hole, and Ross is going to be able to walk in. Touchdown. No flags on the play, and we are 7 seconds into the second quarter. And Mesa Ridge is coming out and putting it to Palmer. That is 21-0.
Watch him. He's going to follow his big fullback there in the hole, and then there's absolutely nobody there until he gets to the end zone when he gets knocked off his feet.
And they will bring in Dickerson for the extra point.
Got to get better tackling than that, partner.
19-0 pending the extra point. And now 20-0 as the extra point is good.
I like what Mesa's doing there. They go ahead and get the point. Don't worry about the 2 points at this time. Big believer in don't worry about 2 points until you have to. And right now, obviously being up 19-0 wasn't the time for that.
And the way your defense is played, I have got Palmer for 2 first downs in 3 possessions. And that was 2 first downs on that last play, or on that last possession. Got it down to the 16 and then had the penalty that took them back to the 31, and they went back to the 50 from there in 3 successive plays.
Yeah, they're doing a little bit of reversal here on offense instead of moving forward.
And into the end zone for the touchback. Came down to the goal line. But the step back foot by Seiss into the end zone.
Looking to make a play. Can't argue with aggression. Being aggressive.
Mesa Ridge saw the film of Palmer's opener where Kendrick two back from 95 plus. So they are kicking away, as most teams will do.
And long. Let that guy get going.
Moreno back at the 15, 3 receivers to the left. Kendrick splits to the right. Deep ball again. Jesse Seiss is open, has the catch at the 42. Mesa's playing some kind of zone, and Seiss has found an empty part of that zone.
Coming back,
but it's coming back, holding on the Terrors.
Oh, boy.
So the Terrors, their own worst enemy. But Jesse Seiss has been open twice.
He threw that off his back foot, too, and still had enough to get it out there to him.
Offense
and
number
Seiss
75.
just turned and made sure he caught the football.
First down.
If they can ever time that up in stride, as open as he is, Jesse Seiss could walk into the end zone.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
And that's the second. They hit that big play on the last drive.
Going the other way.
Penalty on Aerosmith cost them 15. Moved them back. Now they're back 1st and 20 at the 10-yard line. So back in trouble area. See what Mesa Ridge does. They're going to flip the 4-man line over. Two men chasing Kendrick.
Open again.
Size again. Oh, and just beyond the outstretched arms.
Marino's pass
But on
size
that
falls
play,
incomplete.
there's 2 spies on Javion Kendrick for this defense. DeJohn Hudson is one of those, and the other is Teddy Sains. Sains is a corner on that side. And Hudson listed as a linebacker, but with all the flipping, multiple positions. Now they'll flip to the other side of the field. Moreno with the keeper on the read option, and he is going to go down. Coming up hard is Cash Cheeks, the 6'5", 160-pound sophomore defensive back. Reading that play all the way. Moreno only able to get out to the 9, so a tackle for loss. And that is going to make it 3rd and 21 for the Terrors.
Too many of these second and third and long situations. Offense got to get going.
Palmer ran into trouble deep in their own end. And here is a little screen that is read perfectly. They get it to Kendrick out in the flat, but he is swallowed up and dropped for a loss.
Kendrick showing a little frustration when he comes off.
John and Davis in the area on the tackle. They'll say he got back to the line of scrimmage, so 4th and 21.
That's pretty generous, too, because he's at the 8-yard line, I think, when he got tackled there.
Yeah. Fortenberry, the senior, was also in the area. Campos stands at the 42 of Palmer.
Out.
This kick
Got
is
it.
blocked and caught in the end zone. That is Jalen Holmes, the 5'10", 170-pound senior, with the 4th touchdown for Mesa Ridge. Make it 26-0. 9:58 to go in the 3rd.
Got a bad snap. Good catch on the snap, but the Grizzlies were all over that when they went to the point of the ball and got the deflection and touchdown Mesa Ridge.
And that goes to the opportunistic sense of this defense for Mesa Ridge. 4 fumble recoveries, giving short fields to their offense last week against Whitefield. 2 pick sixes. Now you get a block punt touchdown. And you're ready to go on top 27-0 with the extra point. And we have only played a couple minutes of the second quarter. So homecoming night not going the way the Terrors drew it up. 9:58 on the clock. 27-0 in favor of the visitors. A big difference from the performance that Palmer had last week against Air Academy, where they led after 1 and trailed by a touchdown at half, but then answered in the 3rd. And Dickerson will set it up at the 40, turn around and count the guys to make sure everybody's in place.
This is as good as I've seen this Mesa Ridge team play this year in this first half so far. Like I said, I was down for the Whitefield game, and though they played a good game and eventually the score got out of hand, the first half was pretty representative. But they're doing it all tonight on offense, defense, and special teams.
This one comes up short, bounces behind Kendrick and into the end zone for the touchback.
Okay. He must have known none of his players touched it because he didn't even attempt to go get it. But if that ball had touched someone and had been live, that would have been a chance for Mesa Ridge to get another touchdown out of that.
5 touchbacks for Dickerson on 5 kickoffs. Palmer has started every drive at their 20. And only 2 first downs for the Terrors.
Yeah, the stat sheet's not looking real good right now for the Terrors. Let's see if we can make it.
Moreno back under heavy pressure, throws it out to the right just to get rid of it. Out there in coverage was Charles Davis. But Moreno just throwing it away as he had that entire defensive line led by Seth Martinez in on top of him. Each member of this defensive line for Mesa Ridge has a sack. And of course, David Garcia with his 7 sacks, as he's got one earlier tonight. 2nd and 10 for the Terrors. 3 receivers to the right. This time he's going to give it to Kendrick, and Kendrick is met as soon as he gets the handoff. David Garcia leading the charge for Mesa. There'll be a loss of 3 on the play. Bring up 3rd and 13.
Almost like they were in the huddle and knew what the play was coming.
Jeremy Callip has got some work to do to add protection to this offense or to become unpredictable with what they are going to do. Because Mesa Ridge blowing right through this offensive line. This time coming down and dropped.
Oh my goodness.
Separation was had, but the drop, Randall, the intended receiver, Nate Randall, the junior, got away from a downfield bump, spun around, and had it fall right through his hands. That would have been a Palmer touchdown as the defender fell down. But as it is, it turns into a punt on 4th and 13.
Lester Grass would have tripped him up. He would have been on his own and sailing toward that end zone.
Campos stands back at the Palmer 47, awaiting this kick. And we are going to have a timeout taken by Palmer. That is number 2 for Palmer here in the first half. As they trail 27-0. Tom Reaper wanting to settle his troops down. Make sure they get a good kick away, turn the field.
Now, the problem with that drop too, you're looking for something to give your team a spark, and that drop pass will just do just the opposite. It'll kind of deflate you a little bit. So now you find out what you're made of, so to speak. Is if you can go have some adversity like that and then pick yourself up on defense and play a solid defensive series. We'll see if the Terrors can do it.
Jesse Seiss with the 2 big catches earlier. One wiped out by penalty. The other one backed up from a big gain because of the penalty. So now Palmer, punt formation.
We should have offsides there. Yeah, bring that back.
Flag comes in. A preliminary signal is offsides against Mesa. That'll get Palmer off its goal line a little bit more. Still going to be 4th down. It'll be about 4th and 8.
Here's Bart Bradley. Let us know what we've got here.
Encroachment. Number 9 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Yep. That's what we thought. Offsides on the Grizzlies. They were a little anxious. Got one punt block. They figured they'd get a little greedy and try for a second one.
High snap again. Grizzlies were right on top of it. This one picked up by Campos at the 50. He fumbles, ball loose. Tears on top of it at the 50-yard line after the muff catch by Campos. And the turnover by the Grizzlies gives Palmer their best field position at the 50-yard line.
Exactly what the Terrors needed. He picked it up on the bounce clean enough, but then when he tried to get away from those 2 Palmer defenders, that's when the ball came out. He jumped on it there, but he must have read where the ball was going to eventually land because he actually pushed it backwards. And the Terrors just pounced on it. And this is the break that I think the Terrors needed, partner. Let's see if they can capitalize.
4 receivers split to the left, empty backfield.
Coming, blitz.
Seiss out in the corner.
Did he give it to him?
Made the catch at the
my
32. A
goodness.
diving catch by Jesse Seiss. Gain of 18 on the play. We've got a flag on the far side, right in front of the Mesa bench. Palmer quickly to the line. I don't know that they realize that there's a flag holding up play. The officials are gathered back at the 50.
I think it's going to be on Mesa Ridge, but folks, watch this catch here on this sideline here. Watch bottom of your screen, bottom left of your screen, folks. Watch him stretch out and, oh, that's just perfect. Everything was inbounds except his head.
That is a big-time pro catch.
Yes, it is.
Let alone a high school catch.
Yes, it is.
The official and the
defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
so they will decline the penalty.
Roughing the passer, and I thought you would tack that on. I have to go down to halftime and find out why we didn't tack that on.
Justin Johnson, the 5'11 junior, and now we have got a timeout taken. Mesa Ridge takes their final timeout. 8:48 to go before halftime. Still plenty of time. But Rob Bratton wanting to, his team has been dominant, and he wants to make sure that after giving up one great play, they shut it back down.
Yeah, don't lose focus.
They have given up a couple of big plays. Jesse Seiss has been trying to put Palmer on his back.
I'm going to have to go down halftime and check on that penalty, why it wasn't called. But I know what our buddy George Demetro is saying right now. As an announcer, you're bad enough, and as a football official, you're even worse. Had a chance to talk to George a couple of weeks ago. He had the Mesa Ridge wide field game. He was a referee for that game, actually. It was good to see George.
And there you see Eagle Beak down on the sideline with the cheerleaders. So 1st and 10, Palmer, just the 3rd first down for the Terrors. Marino back, Kendrick to his right, 3 receivers to the right.
Here they come.
Setting up a screen to Kendrick. Room to run, good blocking downfield. And Kendrick will be down inside the 15 to the 13. And that is a gain of 19 and another Palmer first down. Palmer may be a little lucky there that they did not get a penalty.
Yeah, but that was a good play call by Jeremy Callip on that. He knew that the Grizzlies were probably going to pull their ears back and try to come after him. Slow him down with that screen.
Quintrell Thomas was downfield.
Oh, that's going to be a false start.
False start on the Terrors. But
Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
offense looking at offensive coordinator Jeremy Callip. Looking for the play. 1st and 15. 8:19 and counting here in the first half. 27-0 Mesa Ridge. Palmer trying to answer to cut into this deficit. This is their deepest penetration. And a little route. That's going to be a pass interference call. 2 flags come in on the play. Aerosmith, the intended receiver. Charles Davis in coverage. And you could see Davis come over the top a little too soon. So that'll be is it 10 or 15?
It's 10. As the rush is coming in now, watch, he's going to throw this slant here. And watch the defender from Mesa Ridge at the top of your screen there, folks. See, he grabs him around the waist.
To the goal.
And then he grabs him by the
down.
arm. So no doubt that was pass interference. Well, they got to reset the chains and see if this is a first down. Shouldn't be because it's a 10-yard penalty, and it was 1st and 15. So let's see here.
Confusion here. The original line of scrimmage was the 18.
Yeah, so you should go in 10. And that'll make it 2nd and 5. 1st and 5, excuse me.
But Tom Reber trusting his quarterback, Marino, with the throw over the middle. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Kendrick up the middle is going to get swarmed under. Just nowhere to run in the middle of that Mesa Ridge defense.
Well, I tell you what, they got a few guys up there, to use my favorite line. They've had a few cheeseburgers in their lifetime.
Watson, 6'2", 265, just a junior, plugging the hole in the middle of that line.
That other defensive tackle isn't no small guy either. Like he run 250 easily.
Loss of 2 on the play, 2nd and 7. Marino back to pass, throwing for the corner, and there is contact. No flag.
And I'm with you, partner.
In the coverage was Teddy Sains. Simons was the intended receiver, and Sains got a little bit friendly, if you ask me, but no flag from the guys right there on the play, on the field.
I thought so too.
3rd and 7.
I glanced over when I saw it, but looked like it might have been a case there.
Thought sure the flag was coming out.
Of course, if you're the NFL, they don't even call pass interference anymore. Another screen.
A little flat pass. Great move in the corner and into the end zone. Javion Kendrick finds pay dirt. 7:14 to go. Takes a little swing pass from 9. No flag on the play, and that's just one-on-one. Give that.
Yeah, this is Kendrick doing his thing right there. See him sidestep that tackle.
Cheeks comes over with the sidestep.
Watch him. Now he's going to get a good block there and then walk into the end zone. That's just good individual effort by Kendrick on that play, partner, to get that touchdown.
Feldhausen on for the extra point. Trouble with the snap. It is no good. So 27-6, but at least Palmer's on the board. They're able to cash the turnover by the Grizzlies, and it's 27-6.
Well, they got the break they needed, and once they got the break they needed, they capitalized on it, and that's what you want to see from your football team. If you're going into the locker room trailing, you got some positive things you can say to these guys, and you actually got 7 minutes, 14 seconds to give you some more positive things to happen for your football team. So the Terrors are in pretty good shape. See the big crowd, the big homecoming crowd here for Palmer.
And it is a chilly night. You can see everybody bundled up.
Mm-hmm.
But the band playing the tough guys, no headgear or anything like that.
Well, the good thing is the wind's not blowing. Even though it's a little chilly out here tonight, the wind's not blowing. That's huge. Now, last night was a whole other story. Good Lord. It was a little chilly in town last night.
Well, I was listening to KOA this morning, driving around for work, and Dave Logan, the head coach at Cherry Creek, does the morning show on KOA now. And he was complaining about how bitterly cold it was up in Denver for the Cherry Creek game last night.
He probably won, so who cares?
Yeah, they're ranked #1 in the state.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who cares? But
Feldhausen drills it down. This is Davis bringing it up the right-hand side. Davis spins off a tackle by Simons, but Simons able to slow him down enough to where help comes. Making the tackle for the Terrors was Caden Mays. And he said, Mr. Reed, make sure you get it right this week. It's maize like corn. I love it when the kids come up and correct you because that
means
they've been paying attention.
Yes, indeed.
Mesa Ridge starts at the 36-yard line.
The kids are all Nielsen rating. They'll let us know.
Offset eye, 2 receivers. Gaston with the delayed handoff. It'll be good for a gain of 4. With the carry, that is Josiah Henderson, the junior, 5'7", 160. Henderson came in with 34 carries for 115 yards coming into the ball game tonight. 2nd and 6 for the Grizzlies. Gaster starts him in the pro set, offset eye now. This is a give to Campbell, and Campbell rumbles ahead. Arthur Campbell's having a good night, folks, for the Grizzlies. Has yet to score a touchdown offensively on the year. Henderson in the game in the backfield with Campbell. Just quarterback sneak by Gaster. And he is going to drag Cody Woods for the first down to the Palmer 45. Mesa Ridge keeping it on the ground, keeping the clock running towards halftime. 5:38, 5:37, 5:36, leading by 21.
Well, I think what he's trying to do is take away some of the steam from that Palmer touchdown by keeping the ball on the ground.
Pro set, now the throw. Down the sidelines beautifully for Campos. And Campos able to get down to the 20-yard line. It'll be a pitch and catch of 23. And that ball floated nicely up and over the top of the Palmer defender on that side. Josiah Richardson and Robert Clark manning that side of the Palmer defense. Offset eye, Henderson, the deep man for the Grizzlies. Give it off to the first man through, Arthur Campbell. And Campbell will be stood up at the 14-yard line. Call that a gain of 6.
Pushing and shoving going on down there after the play. And get the big guy out of there. Get the big old lineman out of there. Wants to.
Alan Wallace, 6'4", 265. I don't think you could put 3 Terriers to get together and get to 265.
I could really say they might want to back up off that big fella.
Gaster under center on 2nd and 4. Roll out after the fake to Henderson, and Gaster around the corner on the bootleg. Splits the tackle attempt and into the end zone for the touchdown. 4 minutes exactly in the second quarter. And it is 33-6. So an answer by Mesa Ridge.
Huge answer. Watch the fake. Everybody rolls to the right. He goes out to the left. Again, barely touched until he gets toward the end zone, and then he bounces off a couple of tacklers to get in for that touchdown. So quick response by the Grizzlies to the Palmer touchdown.
5 different Grizzlies have scored in this game. Make it 6 because Dickerson with the extra points. And he is up and true again, 34-6.
Got a leg on him. I wonder if he plays soccer, because he's got a pretty good leg. I bet that soccer coach over down there at Mesa Ridge was probably inquiring as to whether or not he would be interested in coming out.
Esquivel opened it up for Mesa Ridge on their first possession, 52 yards wide open, got lost in that Palmer defense. Made it 7-0 after the Dickerson kick. And then Hudson with an 18-yard scamper. The point missed there to make it 13-0 with 6:29 left to go in the first quarter. And then Ross got it going with touchdown number 5, making it 19-0 and then 20 with the Dickerson kick. Then Mesa Ridge blocked a punt out of the Palmer end zone and recovered it in the air, 27-0 after the Dickerson kick. And then they held Palmer again, but the punt was fumbled. Palmer recovered, and Kendrick was able to score at 7:14 before half. But then Gaster just runs it in to answer that. And 34-6, Grizzlies all over the Terrors. Halfway to their point total they got last year. Palmer with its second quarter touchdown just like last year. Now Aerosmith bouncing off tackles. And he will be out to the 23-yard line. Flag in the middle of the field away from the return.
Might be
so some late scuffling between the Grizzlies and the Terrors. And we have got a Grizzly down on the field at the 27-yard line.
Which means we could have an illegal block on the Terrors, but we'll see. Mark Bradley's going to let us know here.
After the play was over, personal foul, return team number 11. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
And Mark Bradley said it was a personal foul after the play was over, so that might be why the Grizzly player is down. But you saw the Grizzlies maintaining their discipline in their kickoff lanes, and that's why that play didn't blow up into more than it was, but looks like, oh my, could be a bad cramp there, looks like. That could be a.
But the ball will be spotted all the way back to the 12-yard line.
Guys, we might want to get off that picture.
Palmer over, huddling up on the sideline. Tom Reber talking to his squad that's getting ready to go out on offense. Carlos Moreno gimping off to the sideline and back to the bench here.
Favoring that left leg, it looks like.
I checked that Simons.
The good sign is that the Grizzly player is up. He's being helped off the field, but he's up, so that's a good thing. Hopefully that injury is not as bad as it
Hopefully
looked.
that is just a cramp.
Yeah. You're always fearful when they're down that long and you see some things that you don't like to see.
Silas Valdez, the 5'8", 170-pound senior, appears to be the Grizzly that is being taken off the field.
Being helped over his teammates. So now Palmer's going to start in the hole now because of that personal foul penalty.
Caleb Daniels in at that linebacker spot where Valdez has been out. And Moreno in trouble, breaks the tackle in the backfield, but unable to break the second tackle. That is Elijah Davis, the 5'11" sophomore. That is going to be a gain of 2 by Moreno.
I thought it was more like 3, partner.
Ball spotted at the 19.
Yeah, I'll give you the 2. You're right. That could have been a loss of 12. Good job by Moreno escaping that.
3 receivers to the right of the formation. Pressure coming. Throw this near side screen. Ooh. That one almost intercepted. Thrown out there for Kendrick. But on the spot was Daniels, Caleb Daniels, the 6-foot senior, who is in for the injured Silas Valdez. And Daniels just about had a pick six. Again, the Grizzlies had 2 last week against Whitefield in very similar situations to this. The Glads deep in their own end trying to throw out of it.
Yeah, didn't work out too well for them.
3rd and 8. Moreno throwing the home run ball, and this one through the hands of the intended receiver, and that is Nick Randall. Nate Randall, my apologies, a junior. But again, that play is there with just a little less touch on that ball, partner.
Yep. Yeah, but Randall, and he's upset with himself. He'd probably be the first one to tell you, though, he should have caught that ball. That ball was in a position where he should have made a catch.
Dangerous area for Palmer. Mesa Ridge has already blocked a punt earlier and recovered for the touchdown. Campos steps away from this one. It'll go out of bounds at the 46 of Mesa Ridge. And the Grizzlies will have 2:51 to work with this short field to bump this 34-6 lead. Starting at their own 46. Mesa Ridge has had great field position.
Yes, they have.
They would have started at the Palmer 42 on their first possession, but the penalty marched them back to their own 42. And then Esquivel took the play 58 yards. The second, they started at their own 48. The third, they started on their 22. And then the 36 and the 44. So great starting field position. Gaster under center now, 1 man back. Gaster back, rolling out to the left. We've got a flag on the play. This is probably going to come back as Gaster's inside the 30, inside the 20, picks up a block. He'll be into the end zone, but there is a flag back at the 45.
And that flag came early, too, so
it's good.
No, that's holding.
There is a preliminary signal of holding.
Mesa Ridge.
So another 50-plus yard touchdown going to get wiped out.
Let's see if we can see where that holding took place, partner. I think number 58 right there. I think that's what he...
Holding.
Because the flag will
Offense
come in.
number
See
58.
the referee get ready to throw that
10-yard
flag.
penalty from the spot of the
Watch
foul.
58,
Replay
middle of your
first down.
screen, folks. And I believe that is where he said, got a little too friendly. Referee throws the flag out.
Kyle Gaster, a nifty bit of running.
Well, he got his aerobics in for the night anyway, if nothing else.
Wanted his second touchdown of the night. That'll back up the Grizzlies 10. It'll be 1st and 20. Let's see if the Terrors can take advantage. 2:38 on the clock. Offset the eye, receiver left and right. Gaster fakes the give, now throws across late. It is gathered in for a short gain of 5 at the 40. That's going to be 2nd and 16.
Yeah, we're going to get these yards back in bits and pieces. It looks like the strategy was on that play, not trying to get it all back on one play. Pretty smart offensive call, I thought.
Give it to Henderson. Big hole on the left-hand side. Henderson lowers the shoulder, driving for the first down, and he is going to be close.
Oh, boy, we got a flag.
But we have got a flag on Palmer. This is going to be unnecessary roughness, unsportsmanlike.
Might be offsetting, though, because they got another flag at the 40-yard
By
line,
Henderson.
which might be holding.
Flags on the play.
So we'll see what we got here. Might take that
Abraham
run away.
Kamara with the stop.
Frustration playing in for Palmer. I know the one flag came in late.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 35. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Oh, that both of them were on the Palmer then, so that run does count. That was a run of, how many you get that on, Papa? I thought I counted 23.
And tack on 15. from the 44 all the way down to the 28. Gaster back, throws out into the flat for Campos, and that one's going to skip in incomplete. It will be 2nd and 10.
Look for a hitch and go, partner. I think that's what he's trying to set up with that play. I'm sure the Terry defense is aware of that. Got bit on that in the first quarter. So playing a little better on the outside now.
Tight end left, run it that way to Henderson. And Henderson around the corner picking up a block from Campos downfield. And the downfield blocking, and I think that is what's getting Palmer in a lot of trouble. And there is another flag on the sidelines. Campos making the block out in front of his runner.
Frustration now.
And the frustration by the Terrors.
Tackle on that at the end of that run, too.
.136 left on the clock. Mesa Ridge driving methodically downfield. There you see the bump out of bounds, and number 3 just off the corner of your picture continuing his block.
Let's see what Mark Bradley's got for us.
Following the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 12, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Either said something or did something that Mom wouldn't be proud of.
That is Safford Jr. for the Terrors. First and goal from the 5 for the Grizzlies as this march continues. Campbell and Henderson in the backfield. Gaster under center this time. Give it to Henderson, finds a little hole following his big fullback. He'll pick up 3 down to the 2.
Josiah Henderson started his high school career at Sierra. Transferred down to Mesa Ridge last year.
Opener for the 4A Southern League here tonight. Mesa Ridge 3-2 in the 5 lead-up non-conference or non-league games. Palmer 1-4. This is Ross into the ball game with another touchdown, and that is touchdown number 6 on the year for Ross. It comes from 2 yards out,
and he got into that hole, just lowered his shoulder and actually knocked one of his own guys into the end zone before he went in.
So Ross with touchdown number 6 on the season here in the 6th game, averaging a touchdown a game. And Dickerson's been busy. Extra point is up and good.
You see the officials now are paying a lot of attention to what's going on out there. A lot of tempers are flaring right now. Keep that under control. Terry's trail by 35 now.
Palmer got the ball first. I did not see who won the toss.
I think Mesa deferred.
If so, they will get the ball first to build on this 35-point lead, but we've still got almost 34 seconds to go here as you look at some of that Mesa Ridge crowd that is glad they made the trip to Garry Berry Stadium tonight. And for those of you down south that might be tuning in on the TV or one of the social media outlets, thank you so much for the tune in. Your Grizzlies are putting it to Palmer here on homecoming night. You see just how warm you would, or how much you would have had to overdress to stay warm out there tonight.
Oh, no such thing as overdress, partner. No. No such thing. put on enough to be comfortable is how you put that, see.
So tell me, was I wrong to be wearing a Broncos jersey into the Avalanche game last night?
Oh, God, no. See, if I went to a Rangers game in New York, I'd have a Knicks shirt on or a Yankee shirt or a Mets shirt. So, no. As long as it's that city's other team, you're okay.
And another touchback for Dickerson.
Now, you would have took your life into your hands if you wore a Red Wings jersey. Now, there I would have questioned your sanity.
Well, I'm not that crazy. The Avalanche hosted the Eastern Conference champion Boston Bruins last night, the runners-up in the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my old Wasson ties
had to
get Wasson into the broadcast somewhere. I went to school with Lenny Carlo and Brandon Carlo, his son, who went to Pine Creek playing hockey and then went into the juniors. Was drafted in the second round back in 2015. One of the top defenders for the Bruins. Moreno in trouble, gets out of it.
Did he catch it?
And they say Seiss got underneath it. Gain of 9 out to the 29. And we have got a timeout taken by the Palmer Terrors. Their final timeout with just under 40 ticks left.
Well, let's take a look at this and see. I thought it skipped, but let's see. Ball's coming in. Oh, yeah, he caught that. Yeah, he got that.
Came in high enough to where he could get his hands underneath and get it up under the chin.
To
where you can cradle it.
There's a J.C. Callip down there talking to his offensive team. Well, skill players on offense anyway. The offensive line coach has got the big uglies down there. And a couple of big uglies over there, too, on that Mesa Red side.
But I will say this, that last night, not only was it a 3-0 or a 4-2 win to make the Avalanche 3-0 to start the season, but it was also Grateful Dead night. And so imagine the red, white, or the maroon, white, and blue for the Avalanche done in tie-dye.
Oh, boy.
There was a special package jersey that you could get, and we went looking in the gift shop, and they were special ticket only. The place was full of tie-dye last night, and with the Avs colors, it looked great.
Yes.
I got to admit.
Yes.
Moreno in the shotgun. Going to wing it out here to Kendrick, and Kendrick has it drop at the 24-yard line, but he wasn't going anywhere anyway.
Nope.
Not with 3 Grizzlies around him. First on the scene was Jalen Holmes.
I can't prove this, partner, but I think the Mesa Ridge team met the Palmer team bus and made sure they knew where Mr. Kendrick was, because they've been all over him tonight.
Well, we saw 2 players earlier, following him wherever he went. Now they can back off that tactic of shadowing him with this huge lead. Moreno in trouble, steps to the right, now throws late back across the middle, and that's going to be pass interference on Charles Davis. Over the back a little early once again. 2 flags actually sit in between the 40 and the 45. So that'll be a first down for the Terrors. 26.3 left on the clock. And there you see Davis getting there a little early.
I guess his thought process was better early than late.
There are 2 fouls on the play.
Oh, 2 fouls.
Holding, defense number 1. That penalty is declined. Defensive pass interference, number 1. That penalty is accepted. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Yardage results in first down.
Mesa's hands was in the cookie jar twice on that one. Once for holding, once for pass interference. So you decline the holding and take the interference.
Randall and Seiss to the near side. Davis has Aerosmith to the high side. Moreno back, hoping for time. Over the middle to Jesse Seiss, and a little bit too tall.
Pass for Seiss, falls incomplete.
Incomplete, 2nd and 10, 21 and a half seconds to go.
Threw that into double coverage too, partner. I don't know what he thought he saw there, but I didn't think that was the way the place to go with that football.
Sains and Cheeks for the Grizzlies collided. If somehow Size could have made that catch, the two defenders fell over each other. He should still be running.
Mm-hmm.
2nd and 10 now. Palmer trying to get something before half. This one intended for Aerosmith. In coverage this time with Sains. And it'll be incomplete, 3rd and 10.
Now, because the clock stops in high school on a first down, you don't have to get it all here. You can go 15, 20 yards down the field and try to set yourself up to throw a Hail Mary if you can, but let's see what happens.
Both teams out of timeouts. Moreno, 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. And that looks like they were setting up a screen or a short crossing route to Sice. That ball a little bit out in front. Good pressure as they're setting up that screen.
Or was a jailbreak.
Didn't give Moreno much of a chance to set his feet.
Yeah, they saw that B gap was open and they went right through it.
4th and 10 now. Offense still on the field.
Well, 13 seconds, I don't blame. Why not? See what you can get.
4-man front for the Grizzlies. They run a stunt. Pressure coming for Davis.
Oh!
Kendrick Kendrick is down on the ground hurt. Caught the pass on the screen, got a yard, and that's it.
Oh, boy.
But for Javion Kendrick, rolling around in pain as Coach Callip gets out there holding that left knee.
We don't want to stay there, guys. Trust me.
So Mesa Ridge will take over the ball, first down at the 44 of the Terrors.
Let's take a quick look at that screen pass that looked so promising once Kendrick caught the football. And he's going to plant, folks, and this is what we call a non-contact injury. And let's just hope for the best on this one. And plant right there, and you see him go down. And this actually was a fumble. But, non-contact injuries, folks. Let's hope for the best.
There you see his teammates taking a knee right in front of the Palmer bench.
Medical folks are checking up on him, and we'll see what we got.
Well, the stoppage play on the field gives us a chance to thank those who are watching us on social media with District 11 this evening on the YouTube and or Facebook platforms, and we invite you to like and subscribe to find out all you can find out about District 11. We also thank the viewers on the TV side, Channel 16, Channel 8004 on CenturyLink, and Falcon Broadband Channel 73. This would be a huge blow for the Terrors.
Oh, yeah, this is not... this is what you call a gut punch if he can't get up off this one. Because he is... As our buddy Reggie Jackson would say, the straw that stirs the drink. District Athletic Director Chris Knoll down there, and I think he's calling for the cart, so we'll see. See what happens here. I'm looking to see what. I think he called for the cart to come out.
And it is right on the sideline. At the north end of the field, the Palmer Band ready to take the field in 7.2 seconds and entertain this homecoming crowd. The alumni will have their Hall of Fame introductions. Barry Reed, Walter Johnson. If we can get my partner into the shot. There we go.
Well, partner,
he's shy, folks. He really is.
What they tell me is I got a face that radio loves, so I try to stay off TV.
But it is homecoming night, so the Palmer alumni will induct a couple more members of this 140-plus years into the Hall of Fame, and then the band will perform, and then they'll get to crowning the king and queen here.
What a rich tradition down there, boy. I tell you, I had a chance to teach down there a couple of times last year, and man, I tell you what, look at the trophy cases and some of the history of athletics and academics down there, and man, they should be pretty proud of what they got going on down there.
This program, seeing when it was the only Colorado Springs high school, hence the name Colorado Springs High School, they were state champions numerous times, and a lot of the coaches, the Dick Westbays, the Tom Sandovals, who had so much success at Mitchell and Wasson respectively, were Palmer graduates and carried what they had learned. As you hear the big hand for Kendrick as he is being ushered onto the cart.
And all of his teammates are going to come out and
show a great bit of unity on this Terrace football team. But Palmer was a premier program in the state until Colorado Springs grew too much to where they opened a second, third, fourth, and then fifth high school.
Yeah.
And they have never quite been the same, except for a season here and a season there. A special player like Bobby Purify and or Dominic Ruffin.
And I thought I saw him smiling, so hopefully that's a good sign, partner. Obviously, we will go down at halftime and check and see what we can find out. But, we got thumbs up sign, so that's also good.
Take him into the locker room in the southeast corner of the stadium here.
Well, hopefully both those were good signs. We'll get a report for you at halftime, folks, of what we can tell you. If we know anything more, we'll certainly let you know.
So back to the final 7.2 seconds with a 35-point lead and possibly getting the ball to open the second half. What does Rob Bratton allow the Grizzlies offense to do here?
I think he'll sit on it, but we'll see. I mean, sometimes you just be aggressive at a time like this. Football is not necessarily a gentleman's sport. You got a team down right now because one of their best players has been carted off, but it looks like they're going into victory formation.
Yeah, victory formation. Campos will stand back at the 41. Gaster will come up under center, be surrounded by Henderson and Campbell. And that will be the last play of the half on the kneel down. But what a great half coming up on the road. Mesa Ridge wanting to make a statement. Touchdowns from 5 different players, and Ross has 2, and they go to the locker room 41-6. Halftime here at Garry Berry Stadium on Palmer's homecoming night. And there you see the lead. Walt and I invite you back for the second half of this one. And we invite you to stick around also and to watch some of the halftime festivities. We will see you in just a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Palmer Terror fans of all ages, welcome to the 2019 Palmer Terror Homecoming Halftime Show. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow morning, 2 distinguished graduates of Colorado Springs Palmer High School will be inducted into the Alumni Hall of Fame at Palmer High School. At this time, it is with great pride that the CSHS Palmer Alumni Association presents to you the 2019 Hall of Fame honorees. Representing the CSHS Palmer Alumni Association is President Ron Elston, class of 1970. Escorted by Alumni Director Jennifer Buckmiller, class of 1988, is Norman J. Pernerson, PhD, class of 1965. Escorted by past alumni Vice President Ruth Davis Pedri, class of 1955, is Beth Morrison Klein, class of 1979. The Alumni Association invites you to attend the induction ceremony tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. at Palmer High School. Thank you very much, and go Terrors! And now, introducing your 2019-2020 Palmer High School cheer team. For your Palmer Terror High School cheer team. We would like to thank the Corvette Club of Colorado Springs for bringing our royalty to the stadium. The Corvette Club of Colorado Springs has been a huge part of our tradition here. Thank you so much. The Student Council and the Alumni Association have worked tirelessly to put this week of homecoming activities together. Give it up for the Student Council and the Alumni Association. And now, we are happy to introduce this year's Homecoming Court. Julia Solano, escorted by her mom, Karina Solano. Julia is the oldest of 4 sisters, 2 of which are 3-year-old twins who are absolutely adorable. After high school, Julia plans to continue running and attend college to study pre-med. Gus McIntyre, escorted by his parents, Charles and Christina McIntyre. A fun fact about Gus is that he has a magic lunchbox. After high school, he has committed to run D1 across country at the University of Wyoming. Eva Farrell, escorted by her parents, Mike and Christine Farrell. A fun fact about her is that she has 2 horses. Upon graduating, Eva would like to play college volleyball somewhere warm like Florida. David Simons, escorted by his sister, Alicia Swanson-Luchart, and his dad, Bruce Valdez. A fun fact about David is Marilyn Monroe is his 9th cousin. After high school, he would like to go to college and study sports medicine. Elizabeth Laffley, escorted by her mom, Suzanne Herishak. A fun fact about Elizabeth is that she knows the lyrics to every Arctic Monkeys song. Upon graduating, Elizabeth plans to move to New York City to ultimately manage musicians for a living. Jamison Kersey, escorted by his sister, Caitlin Kersey. One fun thing about Jamison is that he doesn't get dizzy and he spins for fun. After graduation, he plans to pursue a degree for counseling psychology with a minor in theater arts. Jay Jones, escorted by little brother DJ and her mom, Shannon Marquez. A fun fact about Jay is that she has played 4 sports and 12 instruments. After high school, she plans to attend college and one day be a successful business owner. Brett Downs, escorted by his mom, Karen Downs, and his dad, Dan Downs. One fun thing about Brett is that he loves throwing discus and is good at it. After high school, he plans to attend college and become a fly fishing guide during the summers in either Montana or Colorado. Paige Jones, escorted by her mom, Sina Kim, and her dad, Terry Jones. A fun fact about Paige is that she would love to visit Seoul, South Korea one day. After graduating, she plans to attend college and study to become a physical therapist. And Cole Peterson, escorted by his mom, Kimber Peterson, and his mentor, Casey Ward. A fun fact about Cole is that he is a drummer. After high school, he plans to catch up on 12 years of missed sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 homecoming court. And now, the moment you have been waiting for. This year's homecoming king. Gus McIntyre. And now, your 2019 homecoming queen, Jay Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 Homecoming Royalty.
What I like about working for D11 Food Services is my job itself. I work in catering and I do what I like.
The district has allowed me to come in with my diversity. I've been here for 34 years. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't stay. And again, the teachers are everything.
And I love it. I've been doing this for 8 years now, and I really don't want to do anything else ever again.
Oh, I love this job. There's never a bad day. It might be a bad day for 2 minutes, and then something great happens.
We are community, so it's important that we get to know everybody that is in our buildings.
This is the school where I want to serve. This is the place that I enjoy.
When you see them away from school or at a playground and they remembered you, that just make your day. It's like, oh,
D11 is family.
D11 is fantastic.
D11 is home.
I am D11.
I am D11.
I am D11.
Olympic Day is celebrated worldwide to promote the joy of sport and create opportunities for people to participate regardless of age, gender, or athletic ability. The Olympic Day pillars are move, learn, and discover.
All of this moving, learning, and discovering was organized by PE teacher Kristen Whitcomb. She works at Rogers Elementary School, one of 25 elementary schools in Colorado Springs, to host an Olympic Day event this year. These events revolve around the 3 U.S. Olympic values of excellence, friendship, and respect. Because it's not just about being a champion in sport, it's about being a champion in life.
There was a time not long ago, District 11 Media Production Services would roll their production truck to Garry Berry Stadium or to your high school gym and produce varsity sports. This team of dedicated staff members supervised student volunteers who were gaining hands-on experience producing high-quality televised events to the joy of family and friends and the community. But the technology being used was aging and also required a tremendous amount of manpower, making it difficult to cover all the sporting events involved in the school's many teams. Schools and their fans had to settle for the rationing of coverage, which did not sit well. Something had to give. Then the district found new technology that would restore the previous coverage and would allow for the expansion of the number of events that each school could produce. This new technology would empower student involvement in the planning and execution of the game broadcast like never before, highlighted by taking over the roles of producer, play-by-play announcer, and color analyst. All that is left is the recruiting and organizing of the student producers and announcers. You.
Yeah, you!
The search is on for high school students, freshmen all the way up to seniors, who are looking for a new challenge. Students who envision a future where they will need sharp public speaking skills, or those who dream of being in the broadcast industry, and even those students who just like to talk. Does this sound like you? Are you ready to make the commitment to become the voice of your school's athletic teams? Contact me, Barry Reed, D11 broadcast announcer, to get more information. barry.reed@d11.org or my phone 520-2269.
Attention D11 students and families. I want to remind you where I come from, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Moving forward, all snow days, 2-hour late starts, canceled. But seriously, we produced this video so you can better understand the process D11 goes through when deciding to call an inclement weather day.
The district wants to assure you that the safety of our students, staff, and families is top of mind when we make the difficult decisions about school closings, early safety dismissals, and delayed safety starts. Sudden weather changes are part of what we expect in Colorado. To help us ensure the safety of our students to the best of our abilities, School District 11 has appointed supervisory personnel to drive sections of the district during a storm. We assign the driving sections because, as we all know, the weather at Doherty High School can be totally different from the weather at Chipeta Elementary School. The supervisory personnel report on weather and road conditions, especially noting poor visibility, poor traction, and other hazardous street conditions, as well as wind chill factors and snow accumulation. These on-the-street supervisors report their findings, and the superintendent is briefed on the conditions. We evaluate the conditions, and further driving reviews and conversations may occur. The employee reports are used in addition to the reports from the National Weather Service, Colorado Springs Street Division, and in coordination with neighboring school districts. All of this usually begins the night before a storm is predicted and is accomplished by 5:30 a.m. so that the decision may be reported. After all the data is examined, a decision is made for either a delayed start, school closure, or school as usual. All D11 families and staff receive notification of the decision via email, text if you've opted in to receive text from the district, and an app push notification on the D11 loop, as long as your contact information is up to date in the Q Student Information System. You can also check for closures and delays on the D11 website at www.d11.org or Comcast Channel 16, Falcon Broadband Channel 73, CenturyLink Channel 8004, and for a recorded message by calling 520-2000 or 520-2300. We also communicate the decision on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feeds, as well as with the local media.
I want to remind you that I'm a father of 2 daughters, and it is important to remember that you as a parent make the final decision concerning the safety of your child. If you think the conditions are unsafe when the district keeps schools open, you may keep your child at home. But please remember to follow the proper procedures by calling your child's school to report the absence, and it will be excused. Thank you so much.
Outdoor Leadership is a new program here at Tesla, and we are the first one in Colorado Springs to offer this to our students. And we go from starting with wilderness first aid and include a wilderness first responder, an interpretive guide, and backcountry cooking, and all types of different things to prepare our students for the industry and the outdoors.
Yeah, so Yanni is teaching wilderness medicine, and I have experience in cave rescue. So the students are going to be learning about how to put a person into a cave rescue stretcher.
You're going to go and protect the spine. So what your job is going to be is your job is going to go ahead and get either to grab or we have the hand up so you can grab onto this. Your job is going to be giving commands and to be telling us what to do. Okay, are you ready?
That's the kind of equipment that can be used above ground as well for mountain rescue. They're going to be learning about how to move a patient using pulleys and ropes.
The ground just feels so weird moving. Awesome! Okay, let's go ahead and keep on going, keep on going. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
So I created Cave Sim as a way to teach people how to be nice to caves while doing rescue. And when I moved to Colorado, I started doing cave rescue, and I realized, hey, we are destroying caves while practicing for rescue. And so I made this big system, and it has computer scoring. So you're crawling through the cave passage, and you get a score based on how careful you are as you explore.
homecoming 2019 for the Palmer Terrors. And the visitors not celebrating too well. They're doing all the celebrating.
Yes, they
41-6 is our score. Mesa Ridge came out on fire, and they stayed on fire on a very chilly night out there. And they will get the ball first here to open up the second half with a 35-point lead. It has been a dominating performance, and as we get through the kickoff, we will give you some of the unofficial numbers put up by the Grizzlies. Feldhausen set to kick for the Terrors. And this is going to be a short angle kick that'll go out of bounds. And the Grizzlies will take it at the 35-yard line. Again, one of the stories of the night has been Mesa Ridge's excellent field position to start their drives.
Placed on the 35-yard line. First down.
And partner, let's get the news out of the way. I had a chance to check at halftime on Mr. Kendrick. And it's a lower leg injury. They're not quite sure what else is going on with it. Further evaluation is needed. But
he will not
be back tonight.
So he takes to the locker room with him 9 carries for 36 yards and 3 receptions for 9 yards, which is a huge chunk of this Palmer offense for the night. Gaster still in there. He'll hand off to Campbell. And Campbell is ahead for a gain of 3. Campbell, 8 carries for 73 yards to lead the Grizzlies in the first half. Henderson, 4 carries for 49. Gaster, 3 carries for 46 and a touchdown. Ross, 5 carries, 44 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Hudson, 1 carry, 14 yards and the touchdown. Overall, partner, 22 carries for 231 yards for the Grizzlies, are averaging over 10 yards a run.
And as you said while we were talking before we came back.
Fumble on the play. Palmer falls on it looks like. And there is the official call. So trouble on the exchange, and Palmer comes away with it. So that's a good way. Jose Saucedo, the senior, coming up with the loose football, and Palmer will take over in great field position at the Mesa Ridge 39.
And we were saying at halftime that the stat line for Mesa Ridge as far as rushing yards were concerned, that's a gain for most schools, and they had a pretty good first half.
So Moreno in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the left. Throw it to the near side, and that one is broken up. Good coverage out there by Davis, Charles Davis, who's had tight coverage most of the night and drawn a couple flags.
He's the best cover guy.
Wenzel Miller, the junior, is in for the Terrors. And he will set to the wide right. Simon's inside of him now. Aerosmith and Seiss to the left. Empty backfield for Moreno. Set up the broken coverage there, or a misread. Moreno just getting rid of it into an open area. Seiss ran an out. Simons ran a post pattern. And the ball went in between the two of them.
Trying to see if the officials were talking to some of the players. I thought there might have been a flag on the field, but I don't see one.
Nate Randall wide to the left. He and Jesse Seiss to that side. Aerosmith, the inside man. And this ball thrown behind Randall down the left sideline. Back there in coverage was Cash Cheeks, the sophomore. So incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th and 10. Palmer unable to do anything on 3 pass attempts, but they're going to leave the offense in on 4th down.
Interesting.
Trailing by 35, trying to do something.
Yeah.
And now one of the Terrors substituting in late as we've got an injury. Melvin Saffold coming off limping out into the flats, and check that, Simons has it go right through his hands. In coverage was Elijah Davis, the 5'11" linebacker. So Palmer turns it over on downs after getting on the fumble. So we're 10:24 of the third period, or 10:54. And Palmer turns it over on downs. For Mesa Ridge, it's like the fumble never happened, and they just took about a minute off the clock. They have the ball at the 39. Three receivers to the left of the formation. Gaster back, throwing the flag route, and completed with the catch. Nathaniel DeRida, the 5'8" junior. First down for the Grizzlies.
It's an up and out route here, partner, and pretty good throw. Receiver had to slow down a little bit for it to make the catch. And
24 on the toss. Debbie Shackelford stopping in to say hi in the middle of a broadcast. Good to see Debbie, as always.
It's always a pleasure. It's the highlight of any Palmer games to see Debbie Shackelford. Not Dave, but Debbie.
Gaster with a keeper on the right-hand side. Room to run. Touchdown number 2 for Gaster. 37 yards on the scamper. 10-11 on the clock. And partner, that puts us into a running clock for the remainder of this game.
Yes, it does.
But Gaster with a little read option, and the right side of the field just opened up, and he was able to scoot for 37.
Once he got past that tackle right there, partner, the blocking downfield was so good by the wide receivers that he was able to walk uninhibited to the end zone to give the Grizzlies a 41-point lead, maybe 42 if they make the extra point here.
4th touchdown rushing for Gaster on the season. Extra point up and good. So 48-6 in favor of the Grizzlies.
And, you know, not to make excuses, partner, but when your best player goes out, man, this is so deflating. The score was deflating enough, but when your best player goes down and you get a chance to go in the locker room and you can see what's going on as far as what the medical staff has to do for him, it becomes tough to come out of that locker room with your mind on football. Because this, believe it or not, this game is played by human beings who have human emotions, and these guys are friends away from this football field, and you're more concerned about your friend's health at this point than you are a football game.
Dickerson has it on the tee. For Gaster, that is 4 carries for 73 yards unofficially and 2 touchdowns. And Dickerson into the end zone and through. Now, Evan Aerosmith was back with Seiss to possibly return that.
Now, I was down on the field at halftime. There is really no wind whatsoever to speak of. Every kickoff going to the north end has been out to the back of the end zone. To the south end, they don't reach the end zone. And I'm trying to figure out why, because usually the wind plays a role in that. But there's no wind tonight. None to speak of, anyway.
Moreno back in the gun, empty backfield. Here comes the pressure. Marino can't find the big hole now. Nice jump cut to the outside. He'll be brought down by Thane Humison, the 5'9" sophomore, playing that outside defensive line spot. Humison chased him down from the far side. Good pursuit. Gain of 6 on the play, going to bring up 2nd and 4 for the Terrors. So now empty backfield again. 4 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Throw a little receiver screen out here to Aerosmith. Aerosmith going to stay in bounds, bounce off a couple of tackles, and get ahead to the 39. That is a pickup of 14 and a first down. 13 and a first down. Evan Aerosmith showing some tough running there. Sean Fortenberry, the senior, was the first one to hit him.
Well, I thought he stepped out of
bounds. But he was able to.
Watch this. There's a hit right. What's it? Head too.
That's Fortenberry in there.
Oh, his foot is in.
There's a foot on the toe was on the line.
I don't know, partner. I thought I saw some green. I thought he might have been okay.
Little swing pass out to the left, read well and stopped immediately. Sean Harris making the stop for Mesa Ridge.
Sean is the son of a Fort Carson soldier. Oh, we got an injured Terror.
One of the Terror linemen coming to the side, holding his hip. So bad news on the injury standpoint for the Terrors, as Jarek Hodge, the freshman who had moved to the right guard position, is down getting looked at just inside the 40. It'll be 2nd and 9 when we resume play here. Clock is stopped at 5:43 for the injury.
Mm-hmm. Of course, anytime you see a young athlete go down, you hope for the most minor thing it could be. In this case, you did hope he just kind of got hit on the side, and he's able to walk off gingerly, so good sign.
Able to under his own power, but you said gingerly.
I think he's saying he got hit just below the gluteus maximus in his back thigh area.
And if you're a Palmer alumni, still tuning in to watch your Terrors fight. The Hall of Fame ceremony down tomorrow at Palmer. You can check the Palmer website or the Colorado Springs High School Palmer Alumni Association website for details on when that ceremony starts.
I believe I heard him say 11 o'clock when I was down in the field.
Empty backfield again for Moreno. Now Seiss making a break late and almost intercepted, deflected up in the air by Sains. Teddy Sains got his hands on it, couldn't come up with the interception. And then Cash Cheeks, the sophomore, it deflected to him and he was unable to come up with it. So 3rd and 9 coming up for the Terrors.
It's not good that Mr. Moreno is running for his life all the time. Watch this pass here. First the tip there. Then it becomes a tip drill, but he was looking to make a tackle, actually, is why he couldn't react to that football being in the air. And you can't blame him for that because you assume the catch is going to be made.
Spread formation, empty backfield for the Terrors. And now we have got a timeout called. Looking at the Palmer sideline, it doesn't look like delay of game was called.
Game on the offense. 5-yard
penalty. I didn't see
penalty.
any of the Palmer coaches
Signaling
for timeout, and I can't imagine that Mesa Ridge would call one with a running clock here.
Right.
So 3rd and 14 now. Javion Kendrick in the locker room after being knocked out in the first half. So any chances of, or any premise as this ball is incomplete out in the left flat. Any premise that Palmer's got any running game is gone.
Oh, it's done. And they're putting their ears back, and you can see them just take it off now. They're not respecting the fact that they can run the football at all. Which is why when you're coaching teams, it's hard enough to get the starting 11 that you need, of course. But that's why you have to develop these underclassmen, and you have to develop these other skilled players, because you can't always count on that guy being healthy or being available in the game, and you have to be able to go to another option just in case. Ooh.
This punt gets away to the right-hand side, checks up, and it will be caught at the 40-yard line.
Well, they going to let that go, because that thing was heading, went back the other way. Now he's bending over.
25-yard punt for the Terrors, and Mesa Ridge set up at the 40-yard line.
Oh, okay, he's okay. Looked like he was in some kind of distress down there. The receiver that caught the ball, I think. Who was that down there? I think that's Robert Clark that actually caught that.
Clark, the safety. Castor still in the ball game. And he'll keep it again. Read option, right. Similar, gets the corner. We do have a flag down. This one might be coming back.
Yeah, I think it's coming back.
Gets a push at the 7. But we've got a flag at the 40. If it stands, it would be a 59-yard touchdown. But the flag, I think, is going to bring it all back, and the officials are sending the Grizzlies back.
Yeah, Kyle Gaster saw that flag, and he just said, oh, God, I ran another 60 yards for nothing. Second time, first half, he did the same thing. And you see him turn the corner. He's got pretty good speed, actually, Barry. And he gets out there, and you're not going to catch that young man.
Well, the road doesn't get any easier for Palmer, as next week they take to the road
Holding
all the way over to Grand
offense.
Junction.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Yardage results in a first down.
So he got enough for the first down before the flag flew and the penalty. But Palmer will take on Grand Junction Central next week over in Grand Junction.
It came down here a couple of weeks ago.
Last week against Coronado. Put a pretty good whooping on the Cougars, who put a good whooping on the Terrors 2 weeks ago. Three-man front for the Terrors. Linebackers crowding. Gaster this time keeps it and rolls out. Trouble at his feet, throws late, and gets it picked. And that is Joe Naple. There, I did it again, Phil. The sophomore linebacker with the pick. Returns it back to the 50-yard line.
Flag.
Second turnover for Mesa Ridge in the half.
Got a flag down. And it's going to be after the interception, I believe.
And they're looking to the Palmer sideline.
After the play and following the interception, personal foul, defense number 2, 15-yard penalty, first down.
After the play, we had personal foul on the Terrors. That's going to end the third quarter too, partner.
So if we have played through 3 and the trend of the Terrors shooting themselves in the foot continued, they get the interception, get the ball at midfield, only to start at the 35 after the penalty.
And they'll go now from south to north instead of going north to south.
Still no wind, as Old Glory is pretty close to the pole out there. We will put the 12 minutes on the clock.
What wind is blowing seems to be blowing from north to south. And so still don't understand why those kickoffs are short going to the south end zone, but
so we will flip ends of the field as you take a look at Rob Bratton and the Mesa Ridge Grizzlies. They will improve to 4-2 overall, 1-0 in league, and the road doesn't get any easier for them anymore. Next week they get Pine Creek up at District 20 Stadium, and then they will host Vista Ridge after that. But for Palmer, it's going to be that 6-hour bus ride over to Grand Junction. And that is on a Friday night. And then they will travel to Pine Creek 6 days later. So Palmer coming up on a tough stretch to where they've got to make that long trip to Grand Junction and then come back on 6 days and take on one of the top teams in 4A, the Pine Creek Eagles.
Well, right now, the top team in 4A. those Eagles are impressive.
4 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Little drag route by Seiss, and he is unable to come up with it.
There's been a case of the drops tonight, too, for Palmer, partner. They've had some opportunities. They just haven't been able to cash them in. A couple of drops, a couple of major drops, actually.
Mesa Ridge going to the clearing the bench now as we are into the fourth quarter. Empty backfield, 4 receivers to the left, throwing
got him.
Aerosmith got him at the 35, and Aerosmith will be brought down at the 20-yard line. Huge play, 34-yard. No.
Do we have a flag? Oh, we had injured terror.
44 yards, had to redo my math there. In coverage was Fortenberry, the senior for Mesa Ridge. And Palmer went right after him.
And he got beat too.
Evan Aerosmith with the catch, and that one in stride. We saw Jesse Seiss get a couple that he had to wait on as Marino didn't have time and didn't get a chance to set his feet and put everything into the throws. But now they are tending to an injured terror down on the sideline. Clock stopped, 11:07 to go in the game, with Mesa Ridge in control, 48-6.
He's working on his foot out there. You know, I thought I saw, guys, we got that replay. Can we run that replay again?
That is Jesse Seiss.
Because I thought I saw where he got hurt at the top of that pass play. Now watch the top of this pass play, folks. Let's see, right there is where he got hurt. And I thought he was engaged with one of the Grizzlies, but he wasn't. And he just fell without contact. Another non-contact injury there.
They've got him on the sideline. Trainer tending to him. Yeah. But it might, and he's putting his shoe back on, so maybe he just got the proverbial flat tire stepping on himself.
Yeah, and they're going to retape him, so looks like he's okay.
1st and 10 at the 21. Moreno rolls out to the right. Now scrambling, tucks it under and gonna run. And he will get ushered out of bounds. Late hit with flag coming as he's at the 13, so tack on some more yardage. It'll be another first down for the Terriers inside the 10-yard line. So Palmer fighting on against these backups for the Grizzlies. And there you see the shot out of bounds, and the flags fly instantly.
Yeah, clearly out of bounds when he got hit.
Connor Olson, the senior, 5'8", 140.
Personal foul.
Finishing off that play out of bounds.
Offense or defense number 11.
So move the ball all the way down to the 7. It will be 1st and goal for the Terriers.
See if we got some helmet-to-helmet contact here, partner. Let's see. As he's going out of bounds. Ooh, just a nice block there. That's all that was.
Great work by our camera people. The block that Moreno got there late.
Yeah, but they're being marched back, so I guess
now they must have seen it. The flag picked up on the play.
Officials didn't think
all the way
block
back to the 29-yard line.
Officials probably thought the block wasn't good as I thought it was. I said, no, you can't do that anymore. It's not one of those good blocks anymore.
4 receivers spread to the left side of the formation. Thrown to the corner for
Got him
Aerosmith.
Got him again.
Got him inside the 5, down to the 2-yard line. Gain of 27. Aerosmith, I wasn't sure if he was going to come up with that as he had to turn around, but good job of Evan Aerosmith staying up, able to pull it in.
This is athletic ability here, folks. Watch this spin, like my partner said. He did a complete spin, but still was able to keep his eye on the football, concentrate, and bring that thing in.
Back to live action in the shotgun is Moreno. Student body right, dive in and into the end zone. 8:02 on the clock. Palmer is able to drive down and finish the drive to make it 48-12.
Go for 2. Go for 2, JC.
So Palmer drawing a little bit closer and scoring again in the second half. And the stretch, you look at where the knee hit.
I thought he was in, though, when the knee hit.
And the height of Moreno.
Palmer took advantage of the fact that, they're going to kick. Palmer took advantage of the fact that they pinned their ears back with coming, and he just scooted out that right side and was able to get into the end zone.
It looked like a design run the entire time. Load up the right side and find a seam and cut it up when you can.
Yep.
A lot of time coming off the clock here as we are still in a running clock. Not that it's going to matter a whole lot, but kick is up and good. So Palmer adds a late touchdown midway through the fourth quarter, and they trim the deficit to 35, 48-13. And something to cheer about for this homecoming crowd. Feldhausen with the extra point. Carlos Moreno celebrating on the sideline with some of his offensive teammates.
Is that next Friday night they're taking that trip to Grand Junction? Oh, boy. Well, the only thing I get out of that is no school. Because you got to make that 6-hour trip. You're going to leave about 10 in the morning, I believe.
You'll probably go to first or second period and then load up the bus and try to get out of town. Kickoff will be about 7 o'clock. So you've got to leave 10 o'clock in the morning and hope there's no snow.
And go over that pass, too, and there's always snow up there.
Over the pass and through Glenwood Canyon.
Did I mention how evil that is, by the way?
The snow?
Yeah.
I think
evil.
Yeah.
Evil. Got some people on Facebook talking about they were happy to see it. Sick people, just sick.
Oh, my backyard needed the moisture, and yours did too. Think of it. Silver lining there, partner.
Yeah, but rain would do. But rain could help. Rain's okay.
Angle kick again, smothered and then covered to make sure there was no turnover. Making the recovery was Sean Harris for Mesa Ridge. Stop the clock at 5:06. Timeout taken by the Terrors.
And I think I said in the first half that Sean Harris' dad was a soldier. I should have said retired soldier down at Fort Carson. So let me make sure I get that cleared up. But this is one of those, partner, where you kind of say, this wasn't a good night for us. We lost a couple of players to injury. We had some tackling issues. Got a few things we need to work on this week before we head up to Grand Junction.
And such a disappointment after the performance you put up against Air Academy last week on the road, losing with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter on a self-inflicted safety. costing you that game 30-28. Ball spotted at the 40-yard line for the Grizzlies. That is where they will start. Backups on the offense. The new quarterback for the Grizzlies is Patrick Johnson. He's a 5'11", 160-pound junior. And he'll send two receivers left, one receiver right. Lone back, about 8 yards behind him, standing at the 32. Deep handoff, shakes one tackle, and gets to the outside before he's brought down. With the carry for Mesa Ridge. That is number 34. I don't have a 34 on my
we're deep into the
sheet somewhere, so we're definitely deep into the bench and the roster.
Now, partner, I got some news for you, too. I forgot to pass on to you at halftime. And after this play, I guarantee you will want to know about this.
First and 10 from the 48. Run a little reverse to the near side. Nice move inside. Tackle is made down at the 35. Gain of 13 on the play. That is Desmond Burton, a 5'7", 140-pound sophomore with the carry. And for Burton, that looks to be the first carry of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Inside 4 minutes now. Burton out into the slot, two receivers left. Soto to the right of the formation. A deep handoff, and around the corner is number 34. And he will be inside the 25 down to the 22. Pickup of 13 again on the play.
Now, partner, I went down to the locker room at halftime, the referee's locker room, and I'm happy to be wearing a Mitchell Marauder hat tonight. And Chris Morse, who is the sixth member of the officiating crew, told me I had to get out. And I asked him why, and he said, well, being a Wasson grad, that is not allowed in here. And I said, well, I have to let my partner know that there's another Wasson grad in the building.
And false start on the right side for the Grizzlies. Stops this play before it gets started. Back up the Grizzlies 5 outside the 25. And once a T-bird, always a T-bird.
I tell you guys everywhere.
Penalty remains first down.
I can't get away from you guys.
Inside of 2.5 minutes here on Palmer's homecoming. Not exactly the game they wanted to put out for their fans as they trail by 35. Silver lining to every cloud. Last year they got beat 68-6 in this game. So a little bit closer. Two receivers left. Bring him in motion. Give off straight off the middle. Big hole. Nice little stutter in the hole. Driving his legs. And all the way down close to the 5, down to the 6-yard line. That is a gain of 19.
And Mesa Ridge is doing what you're supposed to do at this point. Just run the ball on the ground and see what happens. So you can't fault them. None of those numbers you see there, with the exception of 34, played a lot of this football game. So they got their backups in right now.
Inside of 90 seconds here to go in the fourth quarter.
They're letting that clock go down as far as they can.
Burton reset right and then left. And ball on the ground and down at the 15. Trouble on the handoff for Johnson. And he's going to have to fall on it. Back at the 16-yard line.
And I'm thinking at this point, they look like they're going to run the play.
And got to get this play and one more, or at least this play. This play will take the play clock down to about 15 seconds. Johnson steps up and he'll reset Burton a little bit closer to the formation right. Take the snap and pitch it out. Coming around this right-hand side looking for the end zone. He's not going to get there. He'll be out at the 3.
That's going to do it.
15 seconds left to go. Mesa Ridge trying to.
Hey, calm down,
now
boys.
There is a flag.
Down.
As tempers flared for the Terrors once again.
Gotta maintain your poise, guys.
And that will be the ball game. Good night for Mesa Ridge. 48-13, they win it. They improve to 4-2 on the season. More importantly, they open league play with a win. They improve to 1-0. Palmer drops to 1-5 and 0-1 in league. Up next for Palmer, Grand Junction Central. Up next for Mesa Ridge, it gets a little tougher. They visit Pine Creek.
Good luck.
And on 6 days of rest. Yeah. So that game's next Thursday up at D20.
Yeah, good luck.
For the Media Production Department, I am Barry Reed. For my partner Walter Johnson, we hope you have a great weekend. Join us next week for District 11 Friday Night Football.
Falcon and Mitchell.
We return to see the improvements made by the Marauders on the season. Good night, everybody.